Hey guys, Lissandro here, and today I'm doing another blog video. And I know it's already late at night. Well, not that late. It's 10:13. And one thing I wanted to talk about is Bitcoin. The crypto virtual currency that that has the government raising an eyebrow and everything. Well, I wanted to talk about that because mainly, mainly getting back into it, and I had left it for a while but predominantly the reason why I left the whole deal with investing in Bitcoin and everything is mainly because the mining difficulty had gone up to an exaggerated point. I used to make kind of roughly uh, a good amount of money from bitcoins and exchanges, and finding very astute ways to try to exchange it at the highest bidder. But the thing is that because there's two factors that kind of discourage me. One is the fact that I lost a good amount of money with Mount Gox, and I never got it back or anything. And I was suspecting that they would do something, but they didn't do shit or anything. I cashed out and everything else, but they didn't do shit. I don't know what's the deal with the executives. I think they pretty much got away with the shit or anything. But other than that, the second reason is the mining difficulty. I had already won back the money uh, that I spent on buying miners. But the thing is, since I lost it and lost that money, then it was a big discourager. I, I barely made back the money from again from what I spent on the miners, but considering energy costs, it was substantial also. That's another thing. I still have the Bitcoin miners, the Aces and all that, but they're completely obsolete. They do mine, but the thing is that um, it will take forever, and at that point, it's not cost effective at all. Well, getting back to the point, um, I I had left it despite the fact that in reality, Bitcoin uh, is actually what got me started in investments with stocks, commodities, um, CFTs, and futures markets, and things of that sort, even forex and all that. And the thing is that I decided to return back to the whole Bitcoin deal because one thing I noticed is that as you all know, since the crash of I guess the Bitcoin market crash, that's why I like to call it and all, because Bitcoin's almost made it uh, to $1,200. It almost made it to that margin and all. And do you think that it would have that it had gone that high? And the thing is, I feel bad that I didn't hear about bitcoins until later on and everything. I kind of feel bad that I didn't hear about it or anything of the sort. And as some of y'all know, I don't like conspiracy theorists. I don't like them in. Uh, I don't like arguing with them at all or anything. I don't even get in. Well, I have gotten into rage with some of them, but I don't get into rage with them at all. I do acknowledge the fact that some conspiracies may be true, but for the most part, a lot of the conspiracies I have heard are completely deranged, which personally I believe is bullshit. But the thing is this: um, because of conspiracy theories, is the reason why I found out about Bitcoin. I found out through WikiLeaks, and through Bitcoin is how I got into investments, stocks, commodities, all that sort of investments, and it even thrusted that interest forward when I took economics at U of H. And well, the thing is that like I said, Bitcoin had crashed down um, from $1,200 all the way, and I think it got to the point where it nearly crashed below $100. I'm not really sure, but what I know is it crashed really low, and from there on, it recovered and all. From a lifetime perspective, and this is from my experience in evaluating stock market charts and reading signals and things of that sort. Um, One of the things I noticed is that despite the fact that it had gone down that low, uh, and it was a low trend, uh, it was still a high trend in the lifetime time period. And I didn't put that much interest, but it wasn't until later on that I started seeing it recover, and the max it recover was at like 200 $200 range, 300 at the most. Well, the thing is that uh, I left it alone for a while. I focused on other stuff, school, work, and other things. But when I come back, I come to find out some little incident happened that kind of boosted it up. I don't know. I think it was some illegal uh, arrest or something like that that they did that kind of boosted Bitcoin up. It's kind of like when with the whole Silk Road busting, that is skyrocketed to really high margin value before it completely crashed down at the bankruptcy of Mount Gox. But I see it. I checked the price, and if y'all don't know, Google has an exchange rate price of Bitcoin, and I checked the price, and it turns out that one Bitcoin is worth $455. That's how much per Bitcoin. And lucky for me, in Bitcoin wallet, I have I have quite a few Bitcoins. Yeah, and pretty much at this point, I'm not sure I should cash out or keep it for future references, in case it goes up even higher and all. Because one thing I would hate doing is selling and all of a sudden it turns out it skyrockets up. I would really hate that. It would pretty much be a high it will be a high opportunity cost. It will be a really great loss in potential income. And that's the perspective I see things. It's some of the things I learned at economics at UOH. But the thing is this is it kind of reminds me of a story that I don't remember what investor, Apple investor that had sold his shares for who knows how many hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it turns out those shares are pretty much worth several millions of dollars. And had he kept it, he would have made a lot of money back then. You know. By the way, I recently bought from my broker Apple shares. You know, and I think it's a perfect decision. Even though I hate Apple with a passion for what how they pretty much, in my opinion, uh, pretty much pretty much they I don't know what the word is, but try to influence people to buy their product like at twice or three times the value of what you would normally pay for a PC or anything of that sort. And the thing is this. Um, Even though I don't like Apple, even though I despise Apple for a number of reasons, um, I do stand by it in more of a capitalistic sense. As a capitalist, I am a capitalist only up to an extent, but as far as what they do and everything, that's something completely different. And the whole deal with the court case between um, the whole court case between Apple and the FBI. I do not stand. I don't stand beside the FBI's decision. I stand more based on Apple's perspective, you know, because one thing is this: you can't have security where own where only authorities have like exclusive access to it, and not the rest of the not the rest of the world, and perspectives of hackers and all that. It's very hard to do something that it's nearly impossible, because if here's the thing: either you create a system that is completely shuns out all attempts to break into it, or you make it vulnerable enough to for authorities to break into it, but also hackers as well. So that's my perspective. So in reality, I'm with Apple on this for security, despite the fact that I despise them and all. But other than that, I really don't have much to say on that and all. But getting back to the whole Bitcoin deal is, um, here's here's the perspective many people think. Many people think that Bitcoin is tax evasion, currency, tax evaders, and all that shit. They think that's poor man's money, that you're making sense and all that, and all that shit. Even somebody in particular that I know even told me something like that in regard to Bitcoin, because I dealt with Bitcoin and all. But the thing is, one thing you don't I say to all these people, one thing y'all don't realize is that when you're dealing with Bitcoin, you're not dealing with some a couple of cents or anything like that, like collecting cents, like if you were to click paid ads or any of that shit. No, what you're dealing with, you're actually dealing with a commodity. You're actually dealing with a commodity that has the potential to generate lots of money. It's no different from dealing with futures markets, stock markets, or any form of investment. It is an investment. It's the conversion between economics and technology, because there is a lot on this. Now, getting to another point, uh, my other interest for Bitcoin is not so, it's not just the investment aspect, it's also the cryptographic technology behind it and all. Now, I'm a fan of cryptology, both crypto analysis as well as cryptography. So I like both aspects and all, but that only spans to a hobby and all. I don't see myself going into career like that and all because I already decided what I want to do career wise. And I want to go in computer engineering. I already decided for my minor in organic chemistry, and I thought long and hard. And like I mentioned in my other video in regard to genetics, and yeah, I am gonna go into genetics and all. It won't be easy. I acknowledge that, but it was kind of a hard decision to take. But um, I took the decision and all because in reality already have done a little bit of research in regard to genetics. I already started I started studying like it like a year ago or so, but that's a story for another time. Getting back to the whole Bitcoin deal is what I want to what I focus on is the whole aspect with cryptology and all. There is a lot of potential there. As a matter of fact, this form of currency is very effective. It's actually very cost effective in the sense that to start off, you this is of course they can resolve this whole issue um, with cybercrime to at least have it controlled in a sense. Um, the whole deal with this is that the money of the future may not be Bitcoin. It may be something else, but the structure of the money of the future may as well be something that assimilates to the structure of Bitcoin. Because the potentials I see for Bitcoin is that to start off, it cuts back from a lot of like armored car transferring of money. It cuts out a lot of the risk and a lot of physical risk of people that pretty much transfer money to ATMs or banks and all that, pretty much risking their lives and all. Because if you work for an armored car company, you're basically risking your life. Any person can pretty much uh, try to try to arm rob you and all. And there have been cases of this. You certainly cut back with the whole deal of um, cut back with the whole deal with people robbing ATMs, robbing banks, and all. And it you resolve a lot of issues. You resolve a lot of issues with uh, pretty much money transferring, money processing, and things of that sort with fiat. Of course, I'm not in that sense biased against the current standard of money. Uh, for all means, it's fine and all, but there's a lot of issues with the current system, and as well as the crypto virtual currency system as well. Both have flaws because to start off, you need to have a very secure system in which it operates uh, in and trans and transfers and you as much and have as much movement as you do with your current money. In other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is that something that you can ease, uh, you actually have the money that you can use it as easily as if you were to use actual fiat currency. You have to have it in a way where People won't steal it. Another problem is that wallets get lost and that money's lost forever, or at least to a predefined amount of time. And there's a lot of issues with that and all. Of course, one thing I do think is that um, one thing I do think that comes to mind is that a lot of other types of crime will arise because of this new type of currency, of course. And of course, with change always comes as negative side effect. That's something my father has always told me and all. But pretty much like summarizing this is I'm getting back into Bitcoin investment and all because currently I see a potential in it. However, as far as the whole deal with this whole deal with mining and all, I'm not. I don't know how it is and everything, and I'm not getting back into it unless there is some change in which the difficulty goes up to a really substantial amount, which it'll be cost effective again. But other than that, I don't see that happening anytime soon or anything of the sort. Um, but anyway, like I said, there's plenty of issues that have to be resolved and all. And one thing I see, there aren't that many software engineers focused on it like they are on like in other types of software development, especially in cryptology. And of course, I talked with my engineering mentor, and his opinion is that it's not gonna last that long, and um, his perspective is that at the current each time that a lot of these black hat hackers, or let's just say hackers in general, they're they're finding very creative ways to break into things, uh, to break into high level security. The whole SSL securities that's already vulnerable. The 128-bit encryption. So pretty much they have stepped it up to 256, but the thing is, it's a question of how long before these hackers manage to break that high level encryption and all. Now, I haven't looked that much or that in depth into the whole cryptology of cryptocurrency, but um, but the thing is that hold on, I got kind of stuck on this. So yeah, I haven't looked in that much into the whole cryptology of cryptocurrency and all. But I guess more changes will come later on as time progresses. You know, I don't know what the future holds for Bitcoin and all. And there's certainly a lot of fanatics over Bitcoin, especially in the Bitcoin community. There's there's fanatics as well as computer engineers and software engineers that focus on this. And but I guess this is all that I'm gonna say, and I'll bring this video to a conclusion. But anyway, thanks for joining me on my blog, and I will come up a name for this blog. I'm not really sure what to call um, this blog. I wish it was a talk show, but it's not, since I don't have that many people to communicate with and broadcast live and all. But other than that, that'll be all for now. Please like and subscribe the video, and I'll catch you guys later.